There is a leak, apparently. Here we go. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Today I am with
Seth Johnson from the Land House YouTube channel.
Yep, so Seth is the master of this critter right here. Guys, post a comment, tell me what you think it is. We know what it is and we're getting ready to tell you about it. So today we're going to be putting in a new ram pump system from our pond, which is whoop, right there, to water these cows, which are right in behind us. Seth, you make these and sell these. Seth has an entire video series on ram pumps and hydroelectric stuff, all kinds of, he's a tinkerer, really, a really good tinkerer. I think he lives in Asheville, North Carolina,
yes,
right?
Sure do.
So he's about 3 hours away. He has built this apparatus and he sells them on his website and on Amazon.
Yep, sure
also.
do.
Okay, so we'll post links down in the video description to where you can purchase one of these for your own place. This is a technology. We're not even going to do a full intro on this video. We're just going to jump right into it, guys. The meat and potatoes. This has been around for how many years?
Almost 300 years.
300 years, yep. But you know, not in PVC pipe, but in different stages of different types of pipe. Okay.
Yeah, typically it would be a cast iron.
Gotcha. So ever since pipe was made, people figured out that you can run water without electricity, and that's what this is all about, is having a passive water flow system for the cows. So I'm gonna let Seth very simply explain what goes on here. So tell me, so we have some valves. This is the inlet.
So first you got to start off with your water source.
Okay.
In our case, we're using this pond. So the water is going to come down a pipe known as the drive pipe. It's going to close a valve here, and that's going to make a pressure wave, which sends water into this next valve, into a pressure tank, and then sends water uphill from the delivery side over here.
Gotcha.
And typically, you're gonna get 7 feet of lift out for every 1 foot of drop coming in.
Gotcha. So we have approximately 6 or 7 feet of drop here. We'll just, for the ease of everything, we'll say 5 feet of drop. 5 feet of drop would bring the water up 35 feet.
Yep,
Is that right? So just doing a little bit of simple math. And again, what Seth is saying, this is a check valve. Listen, there's a check valve in there. There's also a valve in here.
Yes.
Water comes in, builds up pressure, closes this check valve, blows water by here, and this is a little pressure tank, like you just said, which has an inner tube, like a tire. Is it sealed?
Yeah, it's sealed.
It's sealed. Okay, so there's a pumped up bicycle inner tube in here.
Correct, yes.
And that holds the pressure tight and blows it out, the outlet valve right here, and that's where it goes up. 7 feet for every 1 foot of drop. So what we're doing with our cows right now, and if you guys keep up with the YouTube channel, we have our ABI water tank over here, way across the field over there, and that's how we're watering the cows. I don't even know if you knew that or not, but
I watched one video on it.
Okay, gotcha. So the water tank is plenty of water for these cows for the amount of time that they're going to be in here. However, we want to do something fun and something cool and something passive, so we want to utilize the water that we have right here instead of pumping water out of our well to give to the cows. So this pond water, we're keeping the cows out of the pond, keeping all of our livestock out of waterways. That's very, very important. And what we'll do is, I might have to put my waders on and go out in the pond. I feel like it's about 38 degrees out here this morning.
It's a bit cool.
I feel like I'll be in my waders about, let's see, about 10 feet out into that pond right there, because we have to find a way to stabilize, and we've got several ideas in our head. We got to find a way to stabilize the inlet. So we're going to show you guys how to build the filter system for the inlet. 1/2-inch pipe in, 1/2-inch pipe out. We're going to go to a water tank up here with a float valve in it, so it's constantly controlled and it always runs, and we always have water for the cows. Cool? Woo! First thing, it's cold outside. Poly pipe doesn't like to unroll out in the cold weather. So Seth and I are gonna unravel and unwrap this poly pipe, let it sit out here in the hot sun so that it will straighten out a little bit better, because we don't want coils running all over the ground. So 75 bucks is what the cost of the ram pump is on your website, right, Seth?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool. So you can get into this pretty cheap, guys, and it's fun. It's just fun, something fun to do. We're taking a piece of pressure treated board, and we're going to be drilling out a couple holes, and we've made some rebar hooks to drive in to these holes to hold this in position, because the ram pump has a ramming motion
Yeah,
to
the
it.
water hammer effect really hits this hard.
Yep, so it will pull it completely out of the water if we don't mount it up securely, and it still may pull it completely out of the water. So what we're going to do here now, I'll show you how this is going to go, and then we'll just get busy on it. It's going to go on there just like that. There's just 2 straps that go on this board right here. Again, guys, this is not, if this were a permanent setup, we'd be setting this in concrete or something like that. But this is a temporary setup until we get our permanent water set up. And it's cool to show you guys an interesting way to mount up and run a ram pump to water your livestock or your garden or anything. I mean,
yeah, this little half-inch pump can pump over 300 gallons in a day.
Yeah,
so it'll fill that 400 up real quick.
Nice, cool. So we got some holes to drill. I'll get busy. I'm gonna hold this up while Seth sets the screws in. This thing has to be oriented up and down, okay? Seth got us just about enough strap material, plumber's strap material. Hold on, we gotta back up here. Seth is a cheapskate.
Man.
We got this much strap material to hold this.
I'm like, 50 cents is all you get.
I need him here all the time so we can have fun. He's got the shortest screws that Home Depot sells, and this much strap material. This stuff costs at least $8 for a roll that's 200 feet long.
Hundreds of feet.
Yeah, he's got a piece that big. There is nothing wrong with being frugal. It's intelligent.
Until it makes your project twice as long because you can't get to it.
Yep, exactly. So Seth's job is all done, all mounted up there, and he had the rebar idea, and you had a board already made at the house, right?
Yep, it's sitting there now.
Right, and he didn't want to get any more board than he had to, so he had a piece of board about this long right here. That's what is that, about 8 inches?
Yeah.
8 or 9 inches in man talk. So
well, the main thing is when you do mount a ram pump, you got to get to these unions here, and so if you use too much,
yep,
you just can't get to them.
Yep, so what he's saying here is sometimes this will clog up with trash, and this is a union. You just loosen it up right here, and just like so, and get the trash out. And you make sure you hang on to that little, what do you call that? O-ring.
Yep.
Right? So
without that, this thing doesn't work.
We had all kinds of O-ring stuff going on here on the farm. So I took you up to, we built some hydraulic hose yesterday to fix Skitty Bop. He may hang out for a little while and help me feed that hydraulic hose through Skitty Bop. So you might catch him in a couple videos here on the Stoney Ridge. So I'm just going to drill scientifically right here. This will drive down in the ground. Hopefully that's fat enough. Oh, look at that. That's a perfect fit right there. Oh yeah. So that'll drive down in the ground there, and the other, here it is. The other hook, we got a bunch of rebar in here. We had it all around our fruit trees. And just so you guys know, if you've got deer, it's that time of year right now. If you've got deer scraping your fruit trees, drive a stake of rebar. This stuff's pretty inexpensive, a couple bucks. Drive a stake of rebar, the small rebar, right in beside your fruit trees, and the deer won't damage your fruit trees. Cool? I'm gonna go get this in the ground.
Let's do it.
All right, time to get wet, kids. This is the inlet side where the brass fitting is, right? That's the inlet.
That's the drive pipe.
Drive pipe, okay. So we're gonna turn it around. Get right over this. That's the direction we need to go, correct?
Yes.
Okay, fairly level, straight. We'll drive our rebar. The reason I put a hook on the end of the rebar is in case I need to take this back up. Get absolutely perfect.
That's great.
Cool. Here's what we have, 1/2-inch poly pipe. We're gonna take this pipe, this big roll of pipe, we've gotten it warm enough, stretched it out, and it's gonna go into the standpipe for the pond right here. In other words, the pipe goes through the dam, right through here. It comes out right there. It'll go down the creek, right down to the ram pump. So that's what the idea is. And we're gonna have a couple floats out here in the pond. And these are the floats. Hand me one. So I ordered these. Here's what happens when you order stuff off Amazon. Sometimes you get a little smaller float than you thought you were gonna get. I was looking for football sized, and I got high school, yeah, apple size, high school the free footballs they throw at the football game in high school size. So that's what we got to do. We got to figure out how we're going to tie this critter off. The sweet spot is about 12 to 16 inches below the surface right here. Well, this pond is about in the middle right there, about 7 feet deep. So what we want to do is get our filter system, which we have right over here. We have to build this filter real quick. So this will be our intake pipe. This will have holes drilled all in it, and we'll have window screen wrapped around that. That'll make a filter system. It'll come out of the pond, go through the pipe, down to the ram pump, and then the pump the pipe will be ran along the fence line up here, all the way up to that stock tank that you see in the distance right there. And that's probably lifting it. We'll probably have 5 to 7 feet of drop, and that's probably lifting it about 20 feet. So bringing water up about 20 feet. We have a valve, a Dare float valve, which is that we're going to put in here. This is the float valve, and that will contain everything we need to have this system always working, always running, and keeping the cows watered. And we don't have one water tank, because when you have just one water tank in a field this size, the cows are going to make a muddy mess around it. So we want 2 water tanks. Cool.
The delivery pipe from the pump is 1/2-inch poly. We went to Lowe's last night and bought out everything they had. So we're just running this along the fence, and in the future Josh is going to be using more of this to make it look a little bit tidier and not just run across the grass as we're about to do for this video. But this right here is all we need for the 1/2-inch pump to take the water up to the top.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. It's too short, we're rolling. 5 feet short, it's rolling. 5 feet short. This is our inlet intake pipe, okay? So the poly pipe will be attached right here. This will be out in the middle of the pond, hopefully dangling about like this, and hopefully about 16 inches below the surface of the water. This may be touching the ground. If it's touching the ground, it's not a big deal, because we'll have tons of holes in here, and all we're gonna do is basically take this drill, and we're gonna drill, I'm not even sure, this is close to a 1/2-inch bit. We're gonna have to set it down, and we're gonna drill a bunch of holes all the way through this, and then we're gonna wrap it up in screen material. It's basically a poly screen material. You can use aluminum screen, whatever. We're gonna make a filter to take water in. Once in a while, you may have to clean the ram pump. That's what this is to hopefully prevent, but you will get like pond scum, slimy stuff like microbacteria that grows in the pond that will get inside your pipe. So once in a while you'll have to clean this. It takes some maintenance. This is not a maintenance free situation. Cool, let's get busy drilling. There we go. Look at that, ruined.
A nice big hole in that one.
What is this stuff made out of? Peanut brittle? All right guys, we're down here at the pond. Seth is preparing his drone because he's getting ready to have a little bit of fun. I'm getting in the pond. I've got my waders out here, and it's gonna be a good time. So we designed something a little more efficient than the last ram pump we did. And if you've seen a ram pump video, one video, you've seen them all. No, that's not so. So what we have here are 4 floats, and this is a marine rated rope, okay? I've got this set up, hung onto a bracket right here. It's a copper bracket, so it won't rust, and this will be floating on top of the water, and that will hold up our filter. And this is going to be our filter. You see the holes in it right there, and we're going to wrap that up in screen here in just a minute. We're going to take some heavy duty zip ties, and we'll zip tie that all together. And we've got one more zip tie right here. I wanted to show you the zip tie gun real quick, or zip tie applicator. So if you guys don't have one of these in your toolbox, you need to get one. This is a zip tie tool. I'll post a link down. It's called Data Shark. I don't know, I guess it's for putting data cables together. But the way this works, you go in and get your zip tie in position where you want it. So we want this zip tie right here holding this marine grade rope, just like so. So we'll tighten up the zip tie as tight as we can get it with our fingers, and then we'll take the zip tie tool and we'll go in here, and it basically squeezes it and cuts it. Isn't that awesome? And now it's really, really tight. You can never pull that zip tie quite that tight, and this will go over a fence post, and it'll be hanging just like that. And the fence post is sitting back here in the back. So I've got to wade out in the water with the post driver and this bent fence post. So it's slightly bent on the end where we hit a rock building our fence. Can't use it for building fence anymore, but we're going to use it out here in the water. My hope is that it sticks out maybe about that far, about 12 inches, something like that, and that'll be a perfect little ring to loop this guy right over top of, and it won't go anywhere, and we'll have an efficient system all set up, ready to go. This is what you might put in the eaves of your house to keep bats out or to keep bugs out. We're going to use this as a filter system for the inlet right here. So I'm going to kind of get it wrapped in there tight. Seth is going to hold it. This is so much easier with, maybe it's going to be easier with 2 people.
Or just that much more awkward.
Or that much more awkward. There we go. There we go. You got it?
Yep.
Hold her tight. Doesn't have to be the most beautiful thing in the whole world because it's going to be underwater. We'll get one zip tie on and we're going to use the zip tie tool again. Love the zip tie tool. Once again, this thing will get it tighter than anybody you've ever worked with. It's just awesome. Isn't it awesome?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to buy one of those.
I know. If you need more detail on this stuff, check out Seth's channel, Land a House. And if you want to order yourself a ram pump, we haven't even gotten to the ram pump part because we're having too much fun doing the rest of it. But if you need any more detail on this, Seth has such detailed videos. I told him, I was like, we gotta dumb it down here, not because my crowd is dumb, but because I want to draw them to your place and learn the details. So we're gonna hit the high spots with mine, but Seth is a little more detail oriented.
Yeah, on my channel I've got over 120 videos of the ram pump.
Yeah.
I dive into very specific parts of it, test out random things.
Sweet. Yeah, he's a tinkerer. All right, so this is what's gonna go on the end. Now we're gonna go down to the ram pump and we're gonna hook up the inlet and the outlet.
Drive pipe and delivery pipe.
We're gonna take our 1/2-inch poly pipe. This is gonna be our intake, so I'm gonna push that in there as tight as I can get it. I think last time we did this, we didn't even use hose clamps, did we?
No, it was so cold.
That's why it came apart. Yeah, it was freezing cold. Bust out my Klein 11-in-1, favorite screwdriver on planet Earth. Once again, snug this guy down. And this is a union. What I have in my left hand is a union, and the union should jump right in here and get us connected. I'm gonna get a little bit wet here. This is the intake. What do you call it? The inlet intake?
Drive pipe.
What? Drive pipe. Yep. Drive pipe. Terminology. It's important. Cow, calf, bull, heifer. Drive pipe. All right. Snugged up. Should I turn it on or off, Seth?
I leave it on now.
Leave it on for now. Okay. Now the pipe that comes out the back is not, what do you call that?
The delivery.
Delivery. So drive pipe, delivery pipe, ram pump,
pressure tank, waste valve, secondary or inline
valve, and then we've got 2 unions right here. Union is just where you bring 2 pieces of pipe together simply. Okay, and 2 pieces of rebar holding this guy down. If there's a flood here, Seth, because the water will get up about this high sometimes, it's gonna be fine, right? Shouldn't hurt anything.
Unless some giant stick grabs it and pulls it on down.
Yep, I don't think it's going to because we've got rebar in the ground that deep. So next portion we're gonna do is, before we put the outlet or delivery pipe on, I gotta get in the pond. So let's go get in the pond. Seth is so excited about this that he's launching his drone. So you're gonna hear a drone in the background because he thinks I'm gonna fall down face first in the water. I think I'm gonna get bit by a spider inside these, or a stink bug, more likely a stink bug. We have brown recluse spiders around here, so here goes. Life's grand adventure. Here we go. It's kind of mushy. It's squinty. See how the water is fairly shallow all the way out to about, well, there's a rock there. To about there. There is a leak, apparently. Here we go. It's much harder to drive a post in the water. Whew. I need it to be a little lower than that. Really love these cows, dude. Whew. Man, I'm out of shape. This is so relaxing though. It's a tiny leak in the crotch area. The ground is not steady at all here. Should have gone deeper. It's a whole lot easier to find deeper water than it is to drive a post deeper in the mud. We probably got, hold on here. That's it. That's the money shot. Woo. All right, Seth, you gotta hand me the pipe. Oh. One more post driver. We're a little bit worried about not having enough pipe, and I think we're legitimately worried. You see that, right? I don't think we're gonna be able to cut this and do anything, so we're gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna go ahead and slip this joint together. Just like so. Go up my screwdriver right here. This is the way we should have done the last ram pump also, but it's not the way we did it. We'll snug this guy down. This is low pressure anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. We're gonna loop this right over top of our post, and it's off the ground, but it's ugly until we get water in it, and then it sinks. It'll sink once we get water in it. Let's see. Yep, it's up off the ground. That's what we needed. Awesome. Woohoo! Oh. Dude, I'm out of shape. Knocking a post in the water in the ground is a chore. That's probably a once in a lifetime thing, wouldn't you say, Seth?
I hope so.
He said he's never seen anybody do. I think it's a good idea to keep it in place. When we get floods and stuff like that, it'll never flood higher than that. So I think it's a good idea. Fingers crossed. Let's get it hooked up to the pump. And so all we got to do is hook up one more union real quick here, and simply that's the union. It just presses on. Again, barbed, what do you call that? Barbed fitting. Fitting presses onto the 1/2 inch poly line, and then we'll put a hose clamp on it. Pretty simple. Seth broke my screwdriver, but we're okay. Seth's been a blessing, guys. If you haven't checked out Land to House's channel, great information, good dude, good family man. That's what it's all about here. People sharing information, sharing experiences. That's what YouTube's all about. That's what we're here for. Around here we go to the delivery side. We're gonna hook this guy up real quick. Should I turn it on or off?
That one, you go ahead and leave it on.
Okay, so we're leaving the delivery side valve on. We're gonna take the union apart that I just put together oh so beautifully, and I'm gonna have to do a touch of siphoning here. This pond water is pretty clean, relatively clean, I guess. So here goes. Whew. This is work too.
Yeah, it is.
I got water.
How's it taste?
Yeah, I'll tell you about the pneumonia tomorrow. Okay, so we want no air coming out of this. We want all water coming out of this. Okay, any air could cause a hiccup and cause the ram pump to not work. So we want it to be smooth, just like that. So we got a steady stream of water siphoned down, hooked to our union on our ram pump right here. Should start seeing water immediately. Okay, now turn the valve on. Okay, ram pump should start functioning, right?
Well, so what's going to happen first is the delivery pipe is going to start filling up to match the pond level.
Okay.
And after that's done, then we'll be ready to start pushing the waste valve.
The filter's in the pond. It comes out, it goes through the pipe, it goes through the dam, it comes out, the water pipe goes down through here. I'm gonna take some rebar stakes and stake that down so it doesn't wash away. This is staked down in place, and right now we're waiting on water from there to equalize so on the back side. So it's gonna pump water way up the hill. You can see that shiny tank way up there. That's where it's gonna pump it up to. And that's approximately 25 feet higher than we are currently. And this is no power, no electricity, no nothing. And Seth is going to show us how to kickstart the ram pump next. How do we get it started?
So whenever we start the pump, there has to be enough water in the delivery pipe going up the hill, or the pump won't work. So I'm going to be pushing the waste valve down several times, and it's going to put some water going uphill until we have enough pushing back down on the pump that it will cycle on its own. Depending on how much lift you have, this may take anywhere from a couple clicks to several. If you're having trouble getting this done, you can actually close the delivery pipe and it should start cycling a lot faster with that closed, just to make sure that it's going to be working fine here. Whenever it's closed, it's building pressure in here, and you can see it's just started cycling on its own. And that's because it pushed the pressure that was in here further up the hill. And so we just have to keep doing this, but we know it's going to work now. Just have to keep pushing this until the water fills that pipe. Because we have quite a long delivery pipe, starting the pump like this may take anywhere from 30 seconds up to about 10 minutes. So just keep at it. Once you have it filled, the pump will run by itself and you won't have to do this again.
So as Seth was saying, we just keep plugging away at this. Eventually we'll build up enough pressure to run it all the way up to the water tank. What we got to do is build up enough back pressure to keep this thing running constantly, okay? That's what's going on. Got a little air bubble in there, I think. We just keep thumping on it. If you're worried about it freezing, Seth said he's had it down to 17 degrees, and he has some customers up in Canada that use this same system, and it never freezes. But he did have a gigantic icicle build up on here one time and block the pipe. So you just got to keep an eye on it when it's cold weather outside and make sure you keep it free of ice and debris. It's not a standalone system. It's something that's going to require a little bit of maintenance, but it's free. It's free energy. We're just using gravity for energy. All right, we're going to get it running, and then we'll take you guys up to the stock tank where we should be getting some nice fresh water for our cattle. Seth is the water whisperer. Look at him. He's whispering the pipe up here. He's like, it's almost there. Yep. Tip, tip, tippity, tip, tip.
This point right here.
Yep. So it's moving 2 inches or so every time the pump cycles, and we're up here at our water tank, brand new shiny Tartar Farm and Ranch water tank, and we're about to get water. We're about to get free water. We're about to get water with no electricity, something that's going to be awesome to have here on the farm, man. So you can see all the cattle are over there bunched up around the water tank. They like to hang by the water trough. I don't know why. You guys tell me, post a comment down there. But we should have water trickling out of this thing, and it's a low flow system, so it's probably going to pump about 300 gallons a day, something like that, enough to keep this thing full. And we already have a water system in place over there. So that's awesome. This is so cool, dude. It's getting ready to come out. Yeah! That looks pitiful, doesn't it? I want to thank you, Seth, Social Distance Shake. Thank you so much for coming out here to the Stoney Ridge Farm today and showing us another way to build an awesome water system for our cattle, for our livestock. So saving money, saving electricity, saving the environment, and building something that's totally free energy that's just laying there already. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
If you want to check out the ram pumps on my channel, it's Land to House.
Yep.
And
there'll be a link in the video description. And the comment you leave. He'll leave a comment. It'll be pinned down there, and you can click right to him and check him out. I think you said this was a unique situation. You can see out there that thing's constantly moving. Yep. So we've got a little bit of an air bubble problem, and you might get an outtake, you might not get an outtake here. But I got to get the I've got to get the waders back on. I don't even know if it's worth putting waders on. I might just jump in the pond. We'll see. But guys, thanks a lot for joining us here on the Stoney Ridge Farm today. We got another water system here, ram pump water system. This is going to be in place for a couple weeks while the cows are right here, and then we'll move them up to the upper pasture, and we'll deploy the other ram pump that we put in last year, and we'll take you guys along with us. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time on Stoney Ridge. All right. Woo! He did it. See y'all later.
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet.
Stoney Reed. Woo! Okay, Seth. That's so cold. Oh, that's so cold. Whew. All right, I need a rock. I need some big rocks. I think I'm gonna put my foot on it. There we go. Now, that is so cold, dude. But I think I got it. Okay, I'm done. Cut, over, done, frozen. Whew. Oh, it's so cold. This is not acting. That is the coldest water I've ever had my arms down in. Okay, we're good. Baywatch. That ain't country, I'll kiss your. I got water.